because they were unfree women.
What was my answer to you? Why the caliphs didn't?
Well, because everything around them was not in the same business like them.
Was slavery a national problem or an international problem?
So why have Islam not
I
made?
ask you a question.
And I
answer it directly.
I answer you.
Was slavery back then?
I answer you.
I would like to hear your answer.
Why has
my question.
Islam not made this
I would like to answer you. I would like to question you first, and then your answer. My question is this: was slavery during the time of the Caliphs, Abu Bakr, Uthman, Ali, Umar, was that a national problem or an international problem? The options are A, national, B, international. You have no other choice to answer. Which one?
It was a national and international issue.
Good. So because it's a national and international problem, you are a very bad politician if you ever become a politician, because you are trying to eliminate this
personal attacks. It's stupid. That's just stupid.
Because I know you're not a politician, that's why I'm using it. Yeah. You will never become a good politician unless you understand a problem. If it's widespread, to remove that problem, we need to deal with the problem in its very root.
Only because you sugarcoat all these
I'm trying to answer and you're interjecting. As if like you're helping me with the answer.
40 minutes to or trying to use 40 minutes to explain.
And how many times did you interject?
Because
how many times?
The main issue with you is you are not able to reject.
How many times did you interject?
Slavery.
Rudely.
That's the problem.
How many times did you, like an uncivilized individual, interject?
Because we are just discussing with you're not my schooler, you're not my professor. Okay. I don't have to sit here on the bench and waiting. You are finished. I'm going to university. I'm listening there. Right. But here we are debating.
I would like to treat you like a professor.
We are debating.
I would want to treat you as a professor, right? Okay. When you talk, I would like to listen.
I just respond to the nonsense you're telling me.
Fine. You know what? We have said enough of slavery, but I think there is a fundamental.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, fair enough. You know what?
Why has Islam not finished slavery? It's very bad, isn't
it? Next point. So slavery, you don't agree with my...
We are not even finished with slavery.
No, you don't agree with my explanations. No problem. You're entitled to your opinion and disagreement.
I'm not living in an Islamic state where you get punished for
next thing you said,
being on a different opinion with you.
Next thing you said, something about the Quran, like Surah Al-Kafirun is not so impressive. How
of course not.
Do you really think I made notes for a reason? I made notes so that I can relay back to you what you said. So why say of course not and of course yes? I've already heard what you said. So allow me to now respond and allow yourself.
Can we put a time frame?
Yeah, 5 minutes maximum.
Fantastic.
Good. Time it.
I'm timing it.
Good. Surah Al-Kafirun, you say it's anyone can say it. Anyone.
Of course, it's
right. 5 minutes.
Sorry. Oh, my fault. I just confirmed.
Right. You said Surah Al-Kafirun, anyone can make it. But I'm saying even to this day the challenge stands. Do you know the linguistic repertoire of the Arabs at that time? How they spoke? Their poetry, their qasida, the sutras and the Coherent and so on. What were the styles of their speech? And what is the difference between the speech of the shu'ara, the jahili, and the Quran? If you know, you should be able to tell me. So now tell me which of the bihars, for example, which the shu'ara were so accustomed in their speech, al-wafir, al-rajaz, al-kamil, al-basir, which one does the Quranic surah al-kafirun fall under? It didn't take me 5 minutes, and then we continue. Go on. You're trying to respond. Surah Al-Kafirun under which Bihar out of the 16?
You have your 5 minutes.
I'm finished. This didn't take me 5. I said maximum. Go ahead.
Well done. So what I want to say about Surah Al-Kafirun.
No, my question you answer.
Yeah, wait. What I want to say about Surah Al-Kafirun.
No, I don't want to hear what you want to say. My question is what you can answer.
This is the answer of that.
Oh, please go ahead.
So what is the meaning of Surah Al-Kafirun?
That's what I asked.
Muhammad was asked
Stop.
to respond to the
time.
Mushrikun.
You're wasting my time and your time. The question I asked you about...
So you want to put the
Stop there.
debate in your direction?
No. What I asked you...
Let me say, even if
now
it's nonsense.
you're making a huge story out of it. I asked you a specific question. There are 16...
You're just happy...
Excuse me.
You're just happy with the answers which are in your head.
To help you, there are 16 Bihar in Arabic poetry. 16. And I mentioned some of them already to you. Which of the 16 Bihar is Surah Al-Kafirun in? It's a very close-ended question. It's not an open question. If you understand question, learning processes, when we ask open question and closed question,
what do you wish to say? What do you wish to say?
You said anyone can match. Back then, right.
قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. It's not spectacular.
Stop there.
Everyone can
Look.
come up with such a word.
Back there,
But
even
now you're creating a very beautiful big bubble around, so it looks very intellectual. But what does it mean? قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ.
Listen, my friend Kian, back then the Arabs were the masters in their language.
Exactly.
Good. When they were challenged by the Quran, bring a surah like it.
This is an Islamic allegation.
Excuse me. I am...
That no one has challenged this great Quran.
Listen.
Come on.
I am about to finish a sentence, you cut me off again. I could not even finish my sentence.
Take your 5 minutes.
Okay, another 5 minutes. Yeah, you time it? Good. Arabs at that time, they were very jealous individuals. They were jealous of their poetry. They were jealous of a male child. When a female child was born, do you know what they used to do? Their whole face would go black. Meaning what? Shame on me and my family that I've got a daughter. That's the mentality people had back then in the Jahiliyyah before Islam. And they would go and take that daughter and bury her alive. When it was a son, they will celebrate, feast, joyous occasion. When they recite and bring another poetry, let's celebrate. That is how they were. Celebration of the poetry. They would have competitions of poetry, one after the other. We know how they responded in poetry. When one poet came, we know, for example, even when the Sahaba, when they were reciting poetry, there were non-Muslims challenging back in poetry. So when the Quran challenged them, bring a chapter like unto it, we should find their challenges that they have met, documented in history, available. Because is it true that there were people in Egypt, Lebanon, Libya, they have been living as non-Muslim for thousands of years, as Christians, for example, and they still live today? Yeah. So Islam did not come and wipe out Christianity and Judaism from Arabia altogether. Within these areas, there were people who spoke Arabic and they continued to live. Islam, how many minutes was that? Penalty. What kind of penalty should we have?
I don't know, chopping hands off or...
yeah, maybe, okay. Do you have a knife with you that you carry? Maybe you do.
No.
You have a big bat, maybe you do carry it. Because you have links with ISIS, you support them, glorify them. That's for the camera, by the way. My friend here supports, glorifies ISIS. So take note, big brothers, take note. And look at that, there's a small brother over there. Police, yeah? So take note, he supports and glorifies ISIS. So I won't be surprised if there was a bag in there. So open your bag and with your permission, I will chop you for hands as a penalty. Yeah?
As an ex-Muslim, I glorify ISIS.
You just did earlier on.
I said very authentic.
No, you do. Now he hasn't urinated yet. Sorry to use the example.
They're very authentic.
Listen, you have
Everything
glorified
they
them.
do can be tracked back.
Okay, now to come back now, okay?
To the Seerah of Muhammad,
my friend,
and to the Sunnah.
Okay. Enough of our personal...
actually to Quran as well.
Okay. So as I said, we should expect Muslims and non-Muslims who are living side by side, and the Muslims would not control them, their religion, their way of life, their literature, their language, their heritage, to preserve a challenge in response of the Quran to something like a small chapter like Surah Al-Kafirun. So now, could you kindly tell me, this is a closed question again, where I can find the poetry that they wrote in response of any of the surahs of the Quran within the first, say what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1,000 years? We should be able to find that. One documented history, right? From them. Actually, the best time is within the first 300 years, because otherwise, later on, Islam spread, intermingled with Arabic people and so on, and then, people weren't speaking Arab properly then, okay? As Arabic got mixed with non-Arabs. So, first 300 years, you should be able to quote me a responded surah or an imitation of a surah of the Quran that they have done. I can read it and I can analyze it. I'm sure it's available, it's preserved in British Museum, maybe British Library, in Washington, in wherever country you're coming from, some universities, some museums, some institutions, right? So, but if we find there are no historical trace, and in fact, we find the opposite, when they tried to imitate it and they didn't even begin because they gave up, then it tells us volumes. Okay. So, which of the 60s, I've got 15 seconds, which of the 16 Bihar is Surah Al-Kafirun in that they are going to imitate?
Okay. So first of all, who sets up what is so unique that it cannot get compared with any other scriptures? This is a Muslim or an Islamic allegation which cannot set up as a golden rule because it's just what Islam says. But in fact, where is the settings to decide that your text is so unique that it cannot get compared with any other text? So this argument is off the table. The other thing is, people like Omar Khayyam have already said the Quran is very, very stupid from its language. Very simple on some parts, and some they are literally nice. But in fact, it doesn't change the point that Surah Al-Kafirun is just an call from Allah to Muhammad to repeat something. And if someone comes to me and says, hey, say, Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun, then it's easy for me to say, oh yeah, I do not believe what you believe. What is so spectacular on this word? I do not believe what you believe. What is it? What is so amazing, so impressive that you say that if someone says Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun, nobody can bring any similar words to this? Where is it? Where's the point in this? Where's the point in saying I do not believe what you believe and you not believe what I believe? What is spectacular about this? So can you tell me that?
You finished?
The other thing is,
you're not finished.
No, of course not, because I have my 5 minutes.
Of course you do. That's what I'm asking you.
Thank you. So otherwise I have to issue a penalty against you. The other thing is that every text or scripture in the world, from Sanskrit to Shakespeare to German philosophers, they all have they can claim that is very unique. Somehow they are always unique because you can never ever reach them. Of course, Quran can be somehow very unique according to their standards, and no one can write a book like Quran. But it doesn't mean that Quran is uniquely the only book which has the highest text or the highest eloquence in speaking. That is completely wrong, absolutely wrong. So now I forget the 5 minutes. You can answer me, but just come back and ask me and tell me what is so spectacular about I do not believe what you believe.
Okay. I asked you how many times which of the 16 Bihar is in the Surah Al-Kafirun in?
Answer me.
Hang on. How many seconds? No, he's finished.
No, you can.
I didn't even say 10 seconds, and you interjected. I pretty much doubt you're capable of having a discussion, without interjecting. Okay, start again.
I know this
I asked you.
is part of the show to say that.
It's
but
not a show. It's
come
not a
back to the
show.
point.
It's a wake-up call for you. What I asked you is, Surah Al-Kafirun, what's so unique about it?
Exactly.
What's so interesting about it? What's so miraculous about it?
I do not believe what you believe, and you do not believe what I believe.
Listen. You are speaking English.
What the hell is that?
Right. I asked you. The Arabs, they had ways of speaking. Poetry is what they excelled in. In the Quran, there is, even though it's not prose, it's not poetry, but it has rhythm and rhyme. This is what we find in poetry. So which of the 16 Bihar is Surah Al-Kafirun in? And I am positive you have no idea.
Can I answer?
Oh, go ahead.
Can I answer?
Of course.
I asked you before, what makes you believe that the measurements you use to say something is very unique or no one can challenge the Quran, by whom your measurements are accepted? What is the tools which everyone can accept as a challenge that your Quran is perfect?
When you came with this presupposition that the Surah Al-Kafirun is not extraordinary, it's nothing special, anyone can make it, I automatically had a presupposition, and I wanted to check my presupposition whether it's correct or not. That's why I asked you. In Arabic literature at that time, when people were reciting and challenging poetry, they can respond in poetry in return. That's how they would keep you off. Quran came in rhymes and rhythm, and the Quran challenged them, bring something like it. It should be so easy, isn't it? As you're saying, it should be very easy. If it was so easy, they should be imitating it. So what they were familiar with was the 16th Bihar, which are the types of how the poetry's rhymes and meters are, if you didn't know.
One question?
Yeah?
According to which sources? According to Islamic sources, isn't it?
That shows...
Do you have any external sources which prove that actually that is right?
Have you studied Arabic literature, even to the very, 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 very basic level?
Not really, like for roughly 600 million Muslims. There's just Arabs, they can speak Arabic, and then apart from that, everyone
Sorry. What's the question I asked you?
Is actually
what is the question
not
I asked
aware
you?
of Arabic language.
What is the question I asked you?
So what is it?
What's the question I asked you, my friend Kier?
Yeah, you wanted me to. You want to use this tricky tool. Do you understand Arabic so you can understand
Did I
Quran?
say you understand Arabic?
Yeah.
I didn't ask you whether you understand Arabic or not.
Yeah, now you want to use these tools to weaken my position.
Your position is already weak because of...
Absolutely not.
Are you going to let me finish my statement? Your position is already weak by default because you do not even know anything about, from your own testimony here, demonstration of your testimony, that anything about what Arabic literature looks like, what Arabic literature composed of.
How many Muslims? How many Muslims know that?
What is a Bihar? I've given the answer already. I'm going to ask you again.
I'm a jahil. Answer me.
Now, what is a Bihar?
Answer me.
I'm asking you.
I told you I don't know.
So, if you have studied Arabic, basic level of Arabic literature and poetry, you would have known what is a Bihar is.
I never study Arabic.
So that's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't think so. You need Arabic to understand this.
So now, when we're dealing with a genre, a linguistic genre in a language called Arabic, and you're saying, yes, Quran can be imitated when you haven't got a clue what the Quranic language is, you haven't got the clue what the Arabic language is, and the difference between the two.
The translation of Surah Al-Kafirun.
Can I finish?
It's so complex.
Can I finish,
that no one can say.
Can I finish? So what you are demonstrating to me and everyone who's listening is that your ignorance of the structure, the stylistics, the context, the form of the language of Arabic spoken by the Arabs and Arabic of the Quran, and the differences between them has led you to make this false claim based on this false assumption, based on this ignorance, that they can be imitated. Because look. If I give you an example, imitate this pen. Okay, make a pen like this. Now, if I didn't show you this pen, okay, make a pen like me.
Can I respond?
Before you respond, I have a pen in my pocket, right? Imagine you didn't see that. Actually, I may have another one. Make a pen exactly like it. Exactly. Can you do it?
This is a very false argument. You know
Can
that.
you make it?
Because of course you can't.
Why not?
But you can even not make the Shakespeare scripture as exactly as it is.
It's imitated.
It
You
is
don't know that.
Is it?
Yes, it has been imitated. So
No, it's
that
not.
really shows
It's
you
not.
haven't been
It's
on
not.
it. It has been.
The
So one
Shakespeare scriptures is unique as your Quran.
No.
But it doesn't mean that the Shakespeare scripture
let's come back
is
to the
so
point.
unique
Let's
that
come
no
back
one
to
can
the-
reach this.
Let's come back to the point. So, if you didn't know how my pen looks like, was it red, blue, green, plastic, metal? Does it have a ballpoint or is it ink? You would not be able to make it, do you agree?
Same like with the Shakespeare scriptures.
Hang on. Look at a pen. So do you agree?
You can't copy it.
You cannot, because you need to know how is it like in the first place to make it.
Yeah.
Good? Right. If you
A divine pen.
please, if you don't know how the Quran is like in the language, would you be able to make something like it? The answer is no, you won't be.
Can I?
I've not finished.
Okay, I have an
not
argument.
finished yet. Before you can argue, hold
before
on.
I forget it.
No. In a discussion, write it down if you forget.
No,
Right.
I
Right.
just came
No.
here as a visitor.
Because what you're doing is you keep it. Take my notebook and take my pen before you forget. There you go. Right. So, if you don't know how the Quran and its language is, you would not be able to imitate it. Secondly, if you don't know what the Arabic language is like in their poetry, in their prose, you will not be able to imitate even the Arabic language, bring about anything in the Arabic language.
Fantastic.
Right. So your ignorance is not a bad thing. I'm ignorant of millions and zillions of things. In fact, virtually I'm ignorant of everything about from few things. That's how I am. So it's not a bad thing. It's not putting me down. So your ignorance of, which is a good thing, but not in this case when you're discussing with me, of the nature of Arabic language and the Arabic nature of Arabic poetry.
Doesn't make your argument stronger.
You're again cutting me off in my statement. So your ignorance in the Arabic language itself, the Quranic language of the Quran, because you don't know whether there's a difference between them or not, and whether one can be imitated or not, has led you to make this false claim based on this very bad assumption, baseless assumption. And so what I'm saying is, for you to make even an assertion based on a false assumption, you need to go and read up something. Read up on it. See, that's why I asked you. Surah Al-Kafirun does not fall under any of the 16 bihars, okay, for your information. And bihar is a form of Arabic poetry in this rhyme and meter, like many others. There is al-basit, al-khafif, al-madid, al-tawil, al-rajas.
Still
wait, let me finish.
Still Quran.
Excuse me, let me finish. This is not Quran. What I talked about is the meter.
Surah Al-Kafirun is not Quran.
Please, are you going to let me finish? People who are listening there thinking like, what's wrong with you, I? So what I'm saying is...
I read the wrong Quran.
What I'm saying to you, my friend, for your information, without the prerequisite knowledge on a subject matter, imagine I'm saying Einstein's equation of E equals mc squared, E equals mc squares is wrong. Somebody says not mc squares, it's mc squares. I say, yeah, that too is wrong. And I don't know what E stands for, I don't know what equal stands for, I don't know what m stands for, I don't know what a square is. And I say it's wrong. Now, if I made a claim like this, I'm making a fool out of myself. To make that statement wrong, that equation wrong, not only I need to know what they stand for, not only I need to know what this equation is all about, and then give my mathematics and my science to disagree and disprove that this is wrong. Wait.
Can I answer?
Not about answering. This is not a question about answering. I'm saying you must read up a bit more. So, because you haven't taken any notes, it's my time to go back to your notes. So when the issues of the Surah Al-Kafirun, there's no point discussing how...
You're just talking to the cameras. Can I answer?
Listen, what I'm saying is, there's no point talking to you when you don't even know the basics of the language.
No, sorry. That's not an excuse to find out if a religion is true or not. That's why I want to come back to one...
Isn't this what you made?
Wait.
The Islam is false because of Surah Al-Kafirun can be imitated?
No. Excuse me. It is very, very, very simple Arabic. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ.
Do you speak Arabic?
Can be.
Do you speak Arabic?
I'm not from Arabic country.
Do you speak it?
How many Muslims can speak Arabic? Can you speak Arabic?
You speak Arabic?
Fluent. No, you definitely don't speak Arabic.
How do you know that?
I do not believe that anyone outside an Arabic country can speak proper Arabic unless they have learned it.
Okay. Now here is
just a show.
A simple task. Right? Simple task.
I was in Islamic school as well.
Listen,
and
a simple
can I
task.
ask you one question about this? What you said?
Yeah. What did I say?
Okay. So, did you study Christianity? Because as a Muslim, you have to believe that Jesus is not the Son of God, right?
So I have to study Christianity to make a discussion with them. Yes, I did.
Good. You studied. Did you study all the Greek and
as much
Latin?
as needed.
No. Are you able to speak Greek? I usually like to speak Latin, so you can understand all these old scriptures back to 1,500, 2,000 years.
Okay, let me respond to
If you have not studied that, you can never come to the conclusion that Christianity is wrong.
Let me respond.
So I just wanted to reject your
Can
allegation.
I respond to
No, you can't, because you have speaking
No,
too
no,
long.
You asked him a question.
So you have.
Okay,
yeah.
in my time.
So what I said to you,
Greek.
if you are not fluent in these languages, you are not able to understand Christianity. So if you come back to me and you say, oh, you are just a jahil because you don't understand the basics of the Arabic language, then this is a very weak argument, because you cannot defend your position that Jesus is not the Son of God and Jesus has nothing to do with that and this. If you have not turned your face on the old scriptures, and you can only study the old scriptures if you are aware of certain languages. So your argument that I need Arabic to understand Quran, that is totally wrong. So sorry for that, buddy.
Okay. So again, in a discussion, you should listen and answer and respond.
Come on.
You're interrupting.
Would you
I'm starting right
if
now.
we switch off the cameras, would you speak normal?
Can you time?
Just
Right.
yeah.
Thank you. It's my time to do.
Yeah. Is it show for the camera?
Excuse me. I'm talking now. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So I wasn't making a point because you don't know Arabic. You're a jahil. You're an ignorant person. You made a statement like, "Oh, Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun" is something so basic. You use the Arabic term, and to show basic. So I thought, okay, since you're using the Arabic terminologies, Arabic verse or ayah of the Quran, so maybe you know Arabic. So I asked you, do you know Arabic? Not because I want you to speak Arabic. The question was simply affirming it. Do you speak Arabic? That was all. Not because if you don't speak Arabic, you're a jahil. Because
no, the message behind is
excuse me.
You don't speak Arabic.
Excuse me.
That's why you're full.
Excuse
This
me.
is the message behind.
No.
Yeah,
So
of course.
you have so much preconceived biases within you that every time you speak to someone like me, for example, you're making up your opinions about me when I don't hold them to be true. I did not intend anyway to say that because you don't speak Arabic, you are a fool, you are an ignorant, and so on. You made a statement about the Quran. Surah Al-Kafirun is nothing special, and you said Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. You didn't just say the English, you spoke the Arabic. That's why I asked you, because if you speak the Arabic, I would have then asked you my next point. What's all this? Listen, if you had the knowledge, then I would have asked you. If this was so easy, for example, maybe you can't do it. A simple task, go to any professors in any university who speaks and who teaches Arabic language of the classical period, and he's a non-Muslim. So it's a good advantage for you to imitate Surah Al-Kafirun. You should be able to do that, right? Easy, as you said.
Yes, one of my friends even done it.
One moment.
He done it.
You should be able to do that, right? Is your friend someone who is credible in the Arabic language? Do they have a...
Yes.
Good. Okay, where can I find it? Has he published it?
Yeah, yes, very, very, very famous on YouTube.
Has he published it?
Yes, he has published that there. Abdullah Samir.
Abdullah
Samir.
Abdullah Samir
Yeah, just
doesn't...
go on
Hang
YouTube.
on. Abdullah Samir has published Surah...
No, he has actually taken the Quran challenge.
Okay.
And he challenged the Muslims on that.
Hang on. So Abdullah Samir has imitated Surah Al-Kafirun, right?
No, he has not imitated Surah Al-Kafirun. He said that there's nothing spectacular about certain verses in the Quran. You can create verses which are in the same way eloquent, like
basically, look,
your Quran.
The frustration. Look at the frustration in the discussion. I asked you for an imitation. You bring the friend.
No, not of this.
Excuse me.
Okay?
Excuse me. You bring a scholar of some kind in YouTube. He's not a scholar, by the way. I know of him. Yes, I know of him. Yeah, don't worry about it. Right?
You know Abdullah Samir?
Yes. Okay. So I know how much he's capable of. Yeah, how much in terms. You know what? Bring him here.
He's in Canada.
Invite him. Yeah, because people back they are called keyboard warriors. Behind their computers, they think they are the scholars on the planet Earth. When they come and speak a corner, David Wood came. So did Nabil Qureshi, so did many others. When they come, they learn their lesson from the Muslims. It's not a boasting thing. That's the reality.
That's why you could not even respond to slavery.
Listen. So what I'm saying is, Surah Al-Kafirun, what I'm asking you, because Abdullah Samir in your own testament hasn't done it, this particular surah, go and ask a professor of Arabic, classical Arabic, to produce something like it. So I will give you 1 year to come back. Is 1 year enough time, you think?
Yeah.
Good, 1 year. You're a visitor.
This is clearly for the camera.
Excuse me.
Come on.
Listen.
Come on.
For you're not taking this seriously. I'm being very serious.
No, you're making a show.
No, I'm being very serious. Secondly, brothers, okay. So what I'm saying is, this is a task you have to do. What you don't know is that books have been written by professors in the Arabic language showing how this is inimitable, which obviously you haven't read, because you haven't got the access to the language. Or do you speak Arabic?
I beg you, brother. I'm sorry.
Do you speak Arabic? An affirmation.
No, I'm Kurdish.
Right.
I don't need to speak Arabic.
So if you read a book by Bassam Sa'i, he has published monographs, actual academic works, and given the example of Surah Al-Kafirun itself, as well as various other surahs. Why this surah was unimitable by the Arab scholars at that time. Secondly,
you're joking.
I'm not joking.
This is a joke.
Look, I'm being serious. You need to wake up.
I do not believe what you believe. It's not.
That's English.
It doesn't matter. This is the exact meaning of Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun.
What you don't realize.
So
okay.
That is nonsense.
You know what? I have spent all this time with you, and you haven't even got to the very basics of the nature of the challenge. The nature of the challenge is not, as you said, how eloquent it is, how unique it is. False. Your assumption that. Let me finish.
Do you know how many Muslims struggle? How many scholars are struggling about certain words in a verse?
My friend.
Yeah.
Your assumption that the Quran is inimitable because it's unique, false. Because it's what? Eloquent, false. Quran is unique because of something that you don't even know yet. So I am saying the Quran is unique, and you have a professor in the Arabic language who's got a published work, which I've given to the friends of Abdullah Samir, and he hasn't come back to me yet. Do you know his name? Hassan Radwan. He speaks Arabic. He's the one helping him to write those so-called surahs like it.
I don't think so, because he was an Arabic teacher. Look, so I don't think so.
This individual, in his own testimony,
he's very strong in Arabic. You don't need Abdullah Samir, which is a non-Arabic speaker.
Abdullah Samir doesn't
Why do you attack them?
I'm not attacking them. I'm saying
then why
I gave this.
Keep them out from the discussion.
No, I'm saying your friends, which you thought I don't know of,
keep them out.
No,
Come back to the
important. It's important.
No, keep them out.
These ex-Muslims, they're ex-Muslims.
Now
are you going to let me finish, right?
Yeah.
These ex-Muslims, he was an Arab, and I gave him this book to understand the challenge. So you